What is up? Welcome back to the Wrestling Minute. And unlike other days, there is actually a reason for the Russo voice this morning because you could have fooled me, folks, when it comes to last night's episode of Friday Night Smackdown. Might as well have been booked by old Vinny Rue himself. Good morning, everyone. Shouts out No Noah in the chat. Welcome. That's a good place for me to start. If you have any comments, any thoughts about what the hell just happened last night, fire away in the chat. Whether you're on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or Facebook, I can see you and I can see what you have to say. I would love to hear your thoughts as well on all this. That's actually why we're live. Normally, I do this show pre-recorded. The only live instances of it are on Monday nights at the end of Carnage Unleashed. And now I will say, just to be fair, just to be clear, I have 2 pages, not quite 2 full pages, of notes from last night's SmackDown. And I feel like I could just burn them and throw them in the trash because we really only need to talk about the final segment, right? That's what everyone wants to talk about. That's what everyone wants to hear about. That story never getting finished, will it? I tell you what, The Rock came back with maybe 10 minutes left in SmackDown last night, and was that what a segment that was, huh? At first, I got excited. Cody Rhodes comes out, I think, with like 14, 16 minutes left, and we're going to have Rhodes and Roman. Here we go. I thought I was wrong. I made that shut up, bitch meme, back in September, mind you. What up, Wade? Shout out to Wade in the chat. I'll be seeing him later. All in good fun. A good, 5 months ago, the first time we saw The Rock on WWE TV, is like, oh, here we go again, man. Wrestling's as hot as it's been, maybe ever. Probably not ever, but hot as it's been in a long time. And so, of course, The Rock's got to get in on that. But then I thought, when the Royal Rumble was won and Cody pointed over to Roman Reigns, I thought, okay, I was wrong. We're actually going to get it. We're finally going to get that completion of a 2-year story. No, sir. Now, what I hear, the rumblings that are going around are that the original plan was Punk, Rollins, and Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. I need more caffeine, folks. Cody versus Roman in the main event of round 2 or night 2. But that due to CM Punk's injury and the Vince McMahon allegations lawsuit, John Laurinaitis as well, not the alleged victim, John Laurinaitis. Press X to doubt in the chat if you are like me and you very much doubt John Laurinaitis' take or his lawyer's take on that whole situation. I am sure, John, that those alleged breakfast meetings were forced upon you by Vince. That's why he was there, right? Anyway, thank you, Noah. What up? Yeah, exactly. So let's get into that final segment. Cody says, I want that belt, Roman. If you recall, anyone who missed Monday's Raw, the weirdest segment of all time, I had thought. For whatever reason, we know now, Seth Rollins came out on Monday night and was like, no, Cody. Do you want the Hollywood Hogan belt? Do you want the politicking belt? Do you want, first of all, you're putting down I'm going to talk about both. Seth and Roman, I thought, had poor promos, my humble opinion anyway. He says, "Come on out. Why would you want to fight for Roman's worthless belt? He only defends it twice a year." Okay, that might be true, but it's a weird thing to say to a live audience. "Do you want the dusty belt? You want the workhorse belt? You want the what used to be the Intercontinental Championship? You want that?" I mean, I'm just saying that used to be the workhorse belt. We have one. It's the IC title. All right. So Seth, an injured champion, says, "Cody, don't take down the big heel. Come take my belt. Everyone knows my knee is hurt. Come take my belt." Okay, that was Monday. Friday, Cody shows up. Roman Reigns shows up first as far as entering the ring goes. Cody comes out after, well, actually, no, I need to take a step back because Roman buried Seth in that segment in a way that might have been too effective in the same vein of what I was just saying that Seth did that I thought was wrong. Damn, Roman really buried Seth and he says, "I work 1/10 of the dates that you do. I make 10 times the money. Didn't I beat everyone in your division?" Cody, I think he called the world heavyweight title the losers bracket, essentially. And, said, "Cody, do you want to be the best of the number twos or do you want to take another crack at number one?" All of that shit is weird, personally. Since when do heel champions want the best, the hottest baby face, the best guy, the guy that had him dead to rights? Since when do those guys want that fight? Interesting take on the heel, especially the way you've booked Roman over the last couple of years. He doesn't fight anybody on his own. He does at least. He is a cocky heel at least, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. They're both saying, "Cody, come fight me, come take my belt." Weird to me. So already kind of off to a rough start for me personally since we've gotten out of the Rumble. It's been like, I kind of like the Rumble, but what the hell are we doing now? And it gets worse because then Cody comes out after Roman has buried Seth and says, "Seth had a lot of things to say, but the one thing I disagree with was he called your belt the Hollywood Hogan belt, whatever, said it was a piece of shit, pulled an Alundra Blaze and dropped it in a trash can on live television." And he says, "But I disagree. I love that belt. That's the belt they took from my daddy in the garden. So I still want that belt. I'm still going to take it from you, but not at WrestleMania." And I'd forgotten this. He mentioned at the beginning of his promo, he had taken counsel from a lot of people. And he said, "One of the people, Roman, that I've taken counsel from knows you very well. If you smell." And the crowd goes wild. Fair enough. I kind of popped too, honestly, a little bit, don't you? You're like, "Oh, yeah, it's The Rock. Hell yeah." But then it starts to sink in as The Rock walks in, awkward handshake with Cody. And then we all got to see the moment. Mo Noah in the chat sent me a meme. It's the classic Simpson. You'll see this on Botchamania without a doubt. Bart Simpson doing the "Look, Lise, you can see the moment where his heart dies and where he's broken in half, whatever it is." And you had that moment as they're shoulder to shoulder and Cody smiling. And then I swear I heard Simon and Garfunkel playing in my head at that moment. "Hello, darkness, my old friend." Poor Cody. Man, just saw the light leave his eyes in that moment. And there we go. Now we've got The Rock versus Roman. No one says a goddamn word. They just stare at each other. The crowd chants, "This is awesome." That's what happens when you're in Alabama, folks. Very, very easy to please down there. They don't even have a professional football team. So everybody out there, Raj Geary mainly is the person I've seen mainly just tripping all over himself to talk about how good of a booking decision this is. And fair enough. To each their own. If you are of that same opinion, by all means, I would love to hear it. And I'm, just taking a fun little poke at Raj, by the way. I don't know him personally. But he's the one person I've seen just tweet after tweet. He's kind of pulling a Tony Khan maybe here, where he's responding to every negative tweet that is thrown his way. I, for one, think they've once again, for the same, what is it, like the exact same thing that happened 10 years ago. This is why Punk left in the first place. Once again, they are moving a part-timer in when things are just fine on their own. And that whole idea that this is a pivot because the Vince story, I guess. I look at those dislikes on that video. Maybe this is a case of the internet wrestling fans are much more upset than your general casual fans, but this just felt like terrible storytelling, and it doesn't fit the character that they've built for the last 2 years. Again, y since when does the over as hell babyface good guy, shaking kids' hands, signing autographs, since when does that guy say, "I want you, but not right now. I'm gonna let this other guy handle my business"? It's so weird. I'm gonna take a quick pause, see what we got going on in chat. Otherwise, I'll just rant on this incoherently for 45 minutes. Um No, it says so correct right now, especially the IC title. I'm still so shocked they booked this shit. And we've got Damn Mills. Damn Mills. Dammels. Shout us out. Thank you for hanging out with the chat. I don't think Rock even pointed to the sign as is standard. That is a good point. And honestly, that's a good place to kind of hang out for a minute, talk about some alternative options. Maybe it's not Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. Here are some theories that I've heard. I'd love it if you want to shoot some out there in the comments in the chat. I will gladly pull those up and we can talk about them. I've heard Cody's gonna fight The Rock, or Cody's gonna fight Roman with The Rock as a special guest referee. See, now people are using WWE 2K24 as part of their theory crafting, which I don't hate. Let's theory craft all day. It's about all we have in this moment, unless you're super over for The Rock coming in for a 5-minute match against Roman. But the guy seems out of breath just walking down the ramp, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know that this is going to be any kind of. I don't think this is going to be Rock Hogan. I don't think this WrestleMania moment is going to be what we would all want it to be. I don't even want it to happen. So I guess, I shouldn't say that. Right fight, wrong time for me personally. I do think it could be cool, but not right now. Maybe they won't be fighting each other at WrestleMania. What do you guys think about the special guest referee? That I'm trying to think of a way. Cody said maybe finishing the story is taking everything from you, which is also kind of dumb. I thought finishing the story was literally just about getting the belt that they stole from my daddy in the garden. I thought that was the story. Since when is the story just all about Roman Reigns now? Roman Reigns is just that final obstacle because he happens to have had the belt. And obviously, yes, it's got more personal with the number of times he screwed him over. But now they're changing what the story means. Cody said it himself in his own promo. He said, "I'm moving the goalposts for myself." The fuck? Why? This is like in a bad comedy movie when the writer writes something stupid and then they think they can get themselves out of it by having one of the cooler characters in the movie point out how fucking stupid it is. And it's like, that doesn't give you a pass. Do something stupid and then point at it and say, "Hey, look at that stupid thing we did. Isn't that stupid? Haha, sorry. Hope you laughed." Oh man, this is very unfortunate to me, in my opinion. And I'm not the only one. Dislike to like ratio on that WWE video about this segment has not been good. I wish I could just pull up Twitter and start scrolling it with you guys, and we'd be here all day and all night. So allow me to pivot. We're going to take a short break from Rock Roman, Cody Seth, round 4 because I have plenty to say about Cody Seth round 4, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the other things that happened on SmackDown last night because there were some other things. I think we can knock this stuff out pretty quickly. Starting off Graves and Barrett. I am interested to see how that commentary duo goes. At first, I really loved it. I was like, oh, hell yeah. I don't mind Corey Graves. I think he's earned the opportunity to run point at the commentary desk, but it is weird that they have Michael Cole with Pat McAfee. I get it. Cole loves McAfee, but they're both the face commentators. And now you have your two heel commentators on SmackDown together. It was very interesting Friday night. Both commentators just loving Pretty Deadly, which again, I personally don't mind. Let me know what you guys think. It just felt kind of odd, a little uncanny valley there to have two heel commentators working together. But I thought generally speaking, they did a good job, but their gimmicks are the same. So many of my favorite Corey Graves or Wade Barrett moments are just when they're correcting Cole and kind of ribbing him while they do it. So we're going to lose that. But hey, we've got Pat McAfee on Mondays. Hopefully he's been paying attention. But let me know. What do you guys think? Are you happy to have Mac back on the mic? I'm indifferent, to be honest. As you can probably tell, I don't hate the part-timers, especially when they draw big money, but I would rather see the people who are there day in, day out that have helped grow things to where they are. I would like to see them have those spots and I don't know, not constantly being have to step aside every time a big name wants to come back for a short-term payday. Naomi signs with SmackDown, as does Tiff Stratton, who has her first match. It was technically the main event, while also technically not being the main event. Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens continues. Didn't love that promo. KO beats Theory. Great. It was fine. Good match. Whatever. Not enough to spend a lot of time on it in this particular episode. Damage Control is turning on Bayley, but she heard them talking. Now, we want to talk about nostalgia, WWE doing things they've done before. To some extent, Triple H is finding ways to just play his greatest hits throughout this run with his thumb on creative here. This is the Batista evolution story, straight down to the overhearing the conversation ahead of time. Fine. I you get your little nostalgia hit. It seemed really dumb and over the top that later on in the show, once Bayley came into the ring, that the Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky, who up to this point, although they've been standoffish, they had done at least a halfway decent job of faking that they liked Bayley. And then it's just when you're in the arena, they have to pantomime things, and all of a sudden they're openly just mocking Bayley in front of everyone while she's in the ring. So it was a dead giveaway, but they saved it a little bit to me when they had Bayley pull a pipe that she had stashed out from under the ring. So it shows that she wasn't that damn stupid, because for the last few weeks it really seemed like they were weeks, he says. Last few months, they kind of been making Bayley look like an idiot. So let me know if you're excited about the Bayley Io Sky championship match. It's so far playing out the way we thought it would. I still think it's going to be Rhea and Becky as the other women's championship match at WrestleMania, but we shall see. A fatal four-way tag match. Gross. Don't care about this. There was one last night. There was one on Monday. This is universe mode on autopilot, right? This is what happens when you let 2K book your show for you. You get 4 somewhat randomly assembled tag teams put together in a filler match. Butch and not Butch, goddammit, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, they win. They do some interesting things offensively. I just not a big fan. We've talked about fatal four ways, triple threats. Not a huge fan either. 8 people in a ring, but only 2 of them can work at once. you can tag anybody. It doesn't have to be your teammate, but why would you ever tag your not teammate in? Because the only way you can win is if someone from your team is in the ring to make the pin. I mean, of course, there would be some situations, I guess, for dire, absolute desperation, but it just seems you want to tell a match like that. I think it needs time, and I think it needs people that give a shit. And I think I think multiple teams that you give a shit about. You can't just have the one team that you're clearly going to push, and then a bunch of jobber mid card tag teams in there with them. Don't like it. Don't care about Mondays, but whoever wins Mondays will now go against Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate for a shot at the Judgment Day, and they're undisputed tag team champions. There was a time when I thought they should split those tag belts up, but then I start to think about a split tag team division and who's going to compete, and there's just not a lot of tag teams that I like right now in WWE. So I guess just keep them together for now. But I hope to see more from that division soon. As we speak of things I'd like to see more from, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament. Is that it? Is that what they're called? I think. I don't care. Do you guys care? I thought it was supposed to be a big deal. Paul Ellering comes back. The authors of Pain come back. Occam and Razor. Love those names. That's good. That's a good name. You did a good job there, guys. But I just don't care about this group. I wish I did. I also haven't been a big fan of Lashley with the Street Profits, mainly just because the Street Profits don't really do anything anymore. You know, why are the Street Profits not in that dipshit fatal 4-way tag match, huh? You got Pretty Deadly, and then, you know, what did you have both ends of the luchadors in there so that they had that rivalry? Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I don't care. Let's move on. B-Fab probably joining the Profits because she stepped up. The match never started, by the way. There was no match, even though they teased Bobby putting Karrion Kross in the Hurt Lock, and then Karrion's girlfriend jumps in, his valet, jumps on Bobby, and then B-Fab comes in with a big boot of some kind. And so, okay, cool. They found something to do with poor old B-Fab now that the Top Dollar is clearly not coming back. We had hope, didn't we? We were holding on hope that Top Dollar was going to make it back to the E, and it did not happen. Oh, then we have a segment. I was wrong. I got so excited seeing the segment where Braun Breaker was going to come to SmackDown. I was like, oh, hell yeah, that'll be cool. But they're going to milk that out a little bit longer because Adam Pearce shows up. And unlike Nick Aldis, who was not able to get Andrade, or didn't even really try to get Andrade to reconsider, just said, well, I had a good offer for you. It's a damn shame, pal. Oh, I should stop doing that. It's gonna be that's a trained reaction. Sorry, it's gonna take me a minute, I guess, to drop the Vince jokes. Sorry about that. So, unlike Nick Aldis, Adam Pearce is able to convince Braun Breaker, come on Monday, hear me out, check out my offer, and then let's talk. So, Jade Cargill shows up. Potentially a third woman being added to the SmackDown roster all in one night. Pretty big there. And then we have Tiffany Stratton versus Mi Chin. She shows up, talks trash to Bianca, but then cheap shots Mi Chin. Thought this was actually set up well. I'm not going to complain about everything this episode, wouldn't you know it? I thought this was set up pretty well. Of course, you got to save Bianca or one of the bigger names for later. Stratton needs some wins. The NXT folks know who she is. I know she held the championship there for a little while, but to the folks who just tuned in on Fridays and Mondays, they may not really know that, but they had the big Rumble performance and then a win really establishing her early on. So we'll see what happens with the women's division. That's a bright spot currently, in my opinion. Not everybody agrees with me. I know old Jim Cornette and Brian Last do not agree with me there, and that is okay. We're not going to agree on everything or even sometimes anything. And we're back now to the Cody announcement. Oh, with Roman Reigns. So, uh let's uh let's let's talk about it. So, Markamania, the Wrestling Minute. What do you want to talk about? I want to talk about Cody versus Seth Rollins for the fourth time because that's apparently our backup plan. If it does go that way, unfortunately, I could not care less. I don't no offense to Seth. Not a knock on Seth Rollins at all, but I don't think this new belt has been much of a hit. I think everyone knows it. They said it themselves that it was based. Triple H went on TV and said, "We've made this belt." I'm paraphrasing here because Roman isn't on TV enough, and he's pulling a Conor McGregor, and he's just sitting on two belts that he never defends. Okay, and Seth has had some matches, but there haven't been really any great memorable rivalries for that belt. It's been sort of a contender of the month situation. They tried with Shinsuke. They tried to get Shinsuke over as this menacing heel, at least with the segments. They had that build up with Seth, they had the build up with Cody, but when a guy ends up doing the job every time, it's it's only going to go so far. It's only going to do so much. So I am just not thrilled about the world heavyweight title. It was the one belt they made that I was like, oh, okay, I guess I don't hate the giant W belt as much as I normally do because they took the big, beautiful golden belt and then slapped an ugly, Internet Explorer 1990 fucking logo in the middle and then put the W on top of that. It's lame. The storytelling hasn't been great with it. And as I said to start this portion of this segment, we've seen Cody and Seth go at it. Nothing is going to beat Cody going out there with his torn tricep or whatever it was, or pec or whatever, and doing that match. Nothing. What their WrestleMania match is going to beat that? How? It's not. It's pointless. It's dumb. It's a very hollow, just empty sort of booking decision to me. At that, give me Bayley Io as the main event over Cody and Seth Rollins Part 4. Just personally, I just don't care about that whatsoever. So I am, I guess, going to hold on hope. Rock's so part-time he forgot the sign. That's so funny. I didn't even see that. I think that's response to Mills saying, I don't think Rock pointed the sign. Yeah, he's I love that. This is potentially they're swerving us, right? We can hold on to hope. There's that Thursday press conference. That could make things interesting. What is up? Your goat, what's up? Good morning. A rare morning stream for us, but some blockbuster wrestling news that I had to talk about. So go, I don't know if you're a wrestling fan, but let me know how you feel about The Rock coming back to main event WrestleMania. It's one of the most disliked videos on WWE's YouTube channel right now. Oh, let's go. All right. Sin Cara should face Roman, in my opinion. Go with the deep cut, somewhat deep at least. I can tell you're not a casual with a Sin Cara reference. I love that. Oh boy, oh boy. So do we think there's going to be some sort of swerve? DeMille's talked about not pointing to the sign. We mentioned earlier the special referee part. A lot of people have said, and I agree with them, Rock Roman doesn't need a belt. The whole head of the table thing would be good enough on its own. And I do, despite it cooling off recently and me not really liking all the booking decisions, I do think, generally speaking, what they've done with the Bloodline and Roman Reigns over the past 2 or 3 years has been really good and has elevated Roman to that status, that bigger than the belt status. What do you guys think? Will that just evaporate once this title reign is over? I think he's got that part-time schedule, especially if he stays heel. I don't know that Roman Reigns will ever be able to go back to being a baby face and that people will like him, but I think as it stands, they could just have Rock fight Roman. It could headline any pay-per-view. Clearly, they want it to be WrestleMania. Goat says if they wanted to bring back The Rock, they should have done that a year ago. Agreed. I've heard it sort of inversed where people have said this is why you put the belt on Cody at WrestleMania 39. So that way you could have had Rock and Roman right here for 40 and then Cody fighting with somebody else defending his title or something. I don't know how that one would work, but this it's especially with it being WrestleMania 40, which may be one of the other reasons why The Rock wants to be at it so badly, because that is the rumors that we're hearing that he really pushed for this. And on the other side, we hear, oh, well, Punk got hurt and Brock's not going to be allowed to walk into a WWE building probably ever again. And so now we have to pivot because we've lost two of our three main fights. So now we do have to. That's the story I keep hearing is that Rock was originally planned to be maybe Saudi Arabia or next WrestleMania, but that he was pushing it on his end. Well, let me get into this WrestleMania, brother. And then Punk gets hurt, all these other things happen. And now the Vince allegations, they're like, well, what's something we could do that would get fewer people to ask Triple H questions about Vince McMahon because he's clearly not capable of answering them, or he's been told to not do anything close to answering them because saying, guys, I want to, there's a lot of negative stuff out there, but I want to focus on the positive. I know, just positive only, please. Thank you. That's what you had to say. Cody had a better answer. Jesus. I mean, Triple H and Tony Khan are having a competition for who can have the worst press conference performance of all time. Stop doing these stupid things if you're not going to prepare for them and know how to talk to people. What the fuck is the point of doing it if you're not going to answer the questions? Cancel. Don't have it then. Or don't you come out, Triple H, because how anyone in their right mind could have gone into that press conference and not expected that question and not had a better answer prepared is just mind-boggling to me. It makes no sense. This is a company that just sold one of its assets for $5 billion, and that's the best that are you guys using Chat GPT to write out some of your answers? What the hell is going on here? Goat says, should have split the belts and made Cody defend and Rock versus Roman for the other belt. I don't hate that. I would have rather have seen them split the belts than whatever weird thing they did where they merged the two belts and then created another one. I mean, it was fun for a week or two when Paul Heyman would still carry out the old belts and Roman would wear the new belt just so everybody knew what was going on. It's like, talk about doing something too. That's like me doing a universe mode. Just Ultimo Dragon every time, just belt collector every time. I don't know why I keep buying I do the same thing every time. Why do I buy the new game? Anyway, this isn't about my horrible decisions. They're about Paul's horrible decisions. Cody Rhodes. Are there any other options outside of Seth Rollins? Let me know what you guys think. Is there anyone else you would like to see Cody fight against? If we're not finishing the story, this is the other defense that I've heard. The story is about winning the belt. It's not about winning at WrestleMania. If anything, it might make more sense for Cody to win it at the Garden. So what do you folks think? If it's SummerSlam that he finishes the story, God help them if he finishes the story at a Saudi Arabia pay-per-view, PLE. Lord help them if they do that. I think they'll have a lot of people upset. What would be another one for you? Cody versus Randy? I don't know. Okay. All right, go. I don't hate that. I hate it in a sense for WrestleMania as opposed to just giving us what you built for 2 years. But I will say, absolutely give me Cody versus Randy over Cody versus Seth, part 4, as we've said. Oh, this is just in incredibly frustrating. How funny was it for the CM Punk Magic Orb, though? Man, fuck it, Cody versus Jinder Mahal. I love that. Give me that all day. Do not hinder gender. What about the triple threat? I've seen people say, "Oh, Cody versus Rock versus Roman." Now that'd be a way to get 20 minutes out of Dwayne. I don't know how else you're going to get 20 minutes out of him at this point. Like I said, dude walks down the ramp and still looks like he's goddamn out of breath. So I do not know what's going on there. Oh, we shall see on Monday or Thursday, I guess. So we'll have Rock versus Roman. Any final theories that you guys have? I'll probably start to wrap it up here before the wrestling minute turns into the wrestling hour. But this was the kind of show just wanted to hear all of your thoughts because the IWC, as it's called, is sort of melting right now. They look like that guy in Indiana Jones when he sees the Ark of the Covenant. We're just all kind of, man, what the hell? Now, the crowd loved it, as we said earlier, but is this just a case of Twitter being Twitter and the rest of the world doesn't care? Because I hear Triple H is getting beat up pretty bad on Instagram. Man, I've really got not much in the tank when it comes to how they might book this, but I'm going to hold on to a sliver of hope because they could just swerve us. They might swerve us. Goddamn CM Punk and his fucking scrawny ass arms. All right. Always tearing triceps. Son of a bitch. Oh, but wish him a speedy recovery. I think he had surgery yesterday, but all right, guys, I think that is going to do it for me here at the Wrestling Minute today. I thank you guys so much for hopping into the chat with me and saying what's up. I've got to tear all this shit down and get ready for Major League Indoor Soccer tonight. The Ohio Extreme, goddamn, the Ohio Extreme played the Cleveland Crunch last week, and this week they host Chicago. I will be there as I do the play-by-play for all Ohio Extreme home games. So I'll be back later in the week to talk more about this wrestling thing. But I thank you guys so much. Goat says CM Punk gets more injured than John Jones, and we appreciate you. Appreciate you there, Goat, with the feedback on the show. So you can find me. Ohio Extreme is. I have no comment. Shouts out to the Extreme. No, I love the Extreme. Looking forward to calling all that action. But thank you guys so much. NFL podcast Tuesday at 9 p.m. We will have our Super Bowl preview. Our dear friend and the host of the Rumbles of Red podcast, Trevor, Chiefs fan, will be there with us to preview the Super Bowl. We will also have, of course, the bounce on Thursday night. Don't miss Star Wars. Han Shot First Wednesday night. We are getting you caught up on everything Bad Batch before season 3 starts in a couple of weeks. And, of course, the Clout Route Tuesdays and Sunday nights. We just hit our 100th episode of the main show. We are into season 5 now. Of course, if you'd like to save a little bit of your data, or if you're someone who just tends to listen to these, you can find us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And you don't have to see my ugly face when you do that. Once again, Skyline, Ohio. I love it. Shouts out to Go in the chat, DeMills, Noah, Wade. I appreciate you all so much. And please have a great weekend. Take care out there. Are you looking for an energy boost without the jitters? Let our friends at Dubby Energy help you with their fantastic selection of flavors. Just visit www.dubby.gg and use the code BITESIZESPORTS at checkout for 10% off your order total. Again, that is www.dubby.gg. Code Bite Size Sports.